Hello everyone, myself Ruchi Patel, working as an assistant professor at LJ College of Physiotherapy. Today I am going to take second year topic, that is locking unlocking mechanism of knee. Before going in the detail about the locking unlocking mechanism of the knee, we'll have a brief idea related to the knee complex. So as we all know, knee complex mainly include two types of joint, that is the tibiofemoral joint and patellofemoral joint. So we'll see the articulating surfaces for the tibiofemoral joint. As we all know, distal part of the femur and the proximal part of the tibia which get articulates for the tibiofemoral joint. So we have medial condyle, then lateral condyle of the femur, and same like a femur, we have medial condyle and lateral condylar surface on the tibia. Here you all can see there is a intercondylar notch which is present on the femur, whereas intercondylar tubercle which is present on the tibial surface. During the extension motion, this intercondylar notch is getting intercondylar tubercle which gets locked into the intercondylar notch. So along with this bony articulating surfaces, the stability of the tibiofemoral joint is also provided by the ligaments, that is the ACL anterior cruciate ligament, posterior cruciate ligament PCL, lateral collateral ligament and medial collateral ligament. And apart from this, we have menisci, that is the medial menisci and lateral menisci. So here you all can see this medial condyle is larger than the lateral condyle. So as a result, what will happen? That we'll see in the coming slides. So as we all know, medial articulating surface of the knee is longer than does the lateral articulating surface. So consequently, during the last 30 degree of extension, the shorter lateral tibial condyle or femoral condyle complete its rolling and sliding motion before the longer medial condyle or longer medial articulating surfaces do. So how it affects during the flexion and extension and what will happen to complete this range, we'll see first with the non-weight bearing knee flexion and extension, and then with the weight bearing knee flexion and extension. As we all know, during the non-weight bearing knee flexion and extension, here tibia is moving, femur will be fixed. So what will happen? Let's see. As extension continues, here we are talking about the non-weight bearing extremity. The longer medial plateau or the longer tibial condyles continues to roll and slide anteriorly after the lateral condyles has halted. So the lateral tibial condyle will finish its rolling and sliding first compared to the medial condyles. So this continued anterior motion of the medial tibial condyle results in the lateral rotation of the tibia on the femur with the last 5 degree of extension motion. Again, I'll repeat. So as we all know, the lateral condyle will finish its gliding and rolling motion first. But still this medial condyle is going for rolling and sliding motion. So to complete this rolling and sliding motion and to reach at the last 5 degree of motion, we require the lateral rotation of the tibia, which helps to lock the knee in the extended position. And whenever we make it to do for the flexion motion, we require to unlock the knee. And to unlock the knee for the flexion motion, we require the medial rotation of the tibia. So during the flexion, tibial condyle, that is on the medial side of the tibial condyle, will start its rolling and sliding motion first compared to the lateral condyle. So what will happen? It will go for the medial rotation, and once it finish its medial rotation, then again both the condyles will slide and roll in the uh, posterior direction just to complete the flexion motion. Okay, so I'll show you video afterwards so it will get more clear. Again, I'll repeat. So as we all know, during here we are talking about the non-weight bearing knee flexion and extension motion. So as we all know, during the non-weight bearing motion, tibia will move and lateral condyle has already finished its rolling and sliding motion. So medial condyle are still going for the rolling and sliding motion. And for the last 5-degree motion, this lateral rotation along with this sliding and rolling motion is occurring, and that makes the joint in the locked position. Okay, so this tibial tubercle becomes locked into the intercondylar notch, and the menisci are tightly interposed between the tibial and femoral condyles, and the ligaments are also become tighter. Okay, this consequently automatic rotation is known as locking or screw home mechanism of the knee, and it is also called as automatic or a locking mechanism of the knee. It is very important question for the 5 marks for the exam purpose. Many times they ask screw home mechanism or locking unlocking mechanism or automatic mechanism of the knee joint. So increasing the tension in the knee joint ligament as the knee approaches for the full extension may also contribute to the obligatory rotational motion. As we all know, while going for the flexion and extension motion, so during the last degree of extension motion, the tension on the ligaments as well as get increased, and that gives the force to the knee joint to go for the slight lateral rotation to lock the knee joint. So to initiate the flexion motion from the full extension, the knee must first the unlock, right? Agar if it is not going unlocked, then it might damage to the ligament or menisci and other structures. So to avoid these injuries, we require to unlock the knee joint, and to unlock the knee joint we require the medial rotation of the tibia. And once the medial rotation of the tibia will occur, it again start for the rolling and sliding motion. So the flexion force will automatically results in the medial rotation of the tibia because of the longer medial slide move first compared to the lateral side. Okay. So as I say, if we are not concentrating or if this locking and unlocking motion or mechanism is not occurring in the normal individual, then it might damage to the ligaments, menisci and other structures. So now we'll proceed for the weight bearing knee flexion and extension motion. So in weight bearing, the freely moving femur first medially rotates on relatively the fixed tibia during the last 30 degree of extension. So just it is we can say in the non-weight bearing the tibia was going for the lateral rotation during the last 30 degree or last 5 degree of motion, whereas in the case of weight bearing the femur is going for the medial rotation for the last degrees. Okay, and to unlock that, the lateral rotation of the femur on the fixed tibia is required before proceeding for the flexion. So here you all can see during the extension, medial rotation, and to start flexion, there is a lateral rotation, and then again this motion will get started. Okay, so now I'll try to play this video.
Lower extremity, knee locking mechanism. Locking mechanism occurs in the last 30 degrees of flexion extension, most evident in the last 5 degrees. Femur on tibia, closed chain movement, lateral view. Femur rotates internally, medially to lock. Femur rotates externally, laterally to unlock. Locked. Unlocked. Femur on tibia, anterior view. Locked. Unlocked. Tibia on femur, open chain movement, lateral view. Tibia externally, laterally rotates to lock. Tibia internally, medially rotates to unlock. Locked. Unlocked. Tibia on femur, anterior view. Locked. Unlocked.
So I hope it got clear after seeing this video. Now the summary of this locking and unlocking mechanism is as following. During the knee extension for the non-weight bearing, for the last 5 degree of the motion, lateral rotation will be there. And for the to initiate the knee flexion motion, there will be a medial rotation. And for the weight bearing, during the knee extension, medial rotation will be there. And for the knee flexion, there will be a lateral rotation. So the muscles which are responsible for the rotation, for the medial rotation, there are the popliteus, semitendinosus, semimembranosus, gracilis, sartorius. Whereas for the lateral rotation of the tibia, the biceps femoris muscle is responsible. So this is all about a brief idea related to the locking unlocking mechanism of the knee. For the further detail, you all can refer Joint Structure and Function by Cynthia Norkin. Thank you.